and welcome to the Nature Cure Summit, where we are talking all about the fact that all you need to heal, grow, and thrive can be found in nature, the universe, and within ourselves. I've committed to bringing you experts from around the globe through a variety of different healing modalities to really help you harness the power of nature and use your own vital force to live your best life and have joy, freedom, and happiness. So today I'm super excited to share with you a friend of mine and someone I really respect. Kristen Kancler is a weight loss coach, and she's the founder of a transformational program called the Freedom or Forever Free. I was going to call it the Freedom Formula. I was making a new title for her.
Thank you.
Why I love Kristen is because what she does is she talks about losing weight, but without dieting and without obsessing over food. And that's the one thing that I just dislike about the weight loss industry is all the rules and making you feel disempowered. What Kristen does is she really does it in a healthy way. She teaches weight loss from within. So you feel empowered. She really feels that you have to get rid of your emotional weight before you get rid of your physical weight, which is something that we will get into in the interview. Kristen is a health editor, or she used to be a health editor for Glam magazine, and she is also a certified NLP practitioner. She has degrees from UC Santa Barbara and also a Gourmet Institute for Health degree from Manhattan. So Kristen, you're so qualified. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I love this topic, and I'm just thrilled to collaborate with you and share the message with everyone.
Awesome. Yeah, I invited you on because weight loss is a big concern for a lot of people listening and watching. So I'm really interested in like, we're looking at you, like, well, she doesn't need any weight loss. Like, she looks perfect. So can you tell us, like, why you're so passionate about helping people let go of weight?
Absolutely. I mean, everything that you were talking about in the intro about, dieting and obsessing about food, and that was my life for 20 years. I, from the age of 12, started dieting, started obsessing about food, and my weight fluctuated a little bit. I was dealing with issues around fear and control and self-image and body image, and it is funny to hear people to look at me and say, looks like you've never struggled.
Right.
I'm like, well, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest compliment ever.
Yeah, because that's a testament to how much I've grown. But for 20 years, it was a very different story. I was a pastry chef. For a while, I was a binging pastry chef. That is not a good career move if you have eating issues.
I was always thinking, like, I could never work in a candy shop or ice cream shop.
Oh,
that would be the death of me. But wow.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it was. And it was like my job to like taste the food and make sure it was good. I would really use that excuse. But I mean, I gained 30 pounds that first year. I like broke through my jeans. Like I really dealt with a lot of deep things. And, of course, on the physical level, I mean, my weight was going up and down and I was exhausted. I had headaches. There were a lot of physical things happening. And there was also, I mean, it touches every area of your life. So mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it was just a real roller coaster. It's a really difficult journey.
Yes.
Yeah. So
you mentioned that you started as early as age 12, and I can totally relate to that because when I was younger, I lived in an Italian family where we had pizza, pasta, pastries. I don't think there was like a real fruit or vegetable in the house, but my mom just didn't know about nutrition. She just thought food was food. And so as long as we were eating, like, she was happy. And I used to count all the calories and all the fat grams and everything. And I think a lot of young girls really do start out that way, worrying about their weight from such a young age. And then we grow up to be adults that worry about our weight, and it can be really scary. So you're in this place where you have the extra 30 pounds, you're feeling tired, you're feeling maybe depressed, you were a little unhealthy. How did you make that transformation? Did you try a bunch of diets? Like, did you try your Jenny Craig and all those things?
I did. I tried every diet I could find. I did Weight Watchers. I did South Beach diet. I made up my own diets, like any diet that you found in a magazine, like I was a magazine junkie, and they're like, oh, quick little like 4-week blah, blah, blah. I tried, I had a personal trainer. I was going to the gym. I tried hypnosis. I tried shakes. I mean, like everything. And
did you have any success? Did you have some success with some of that?
Not really. Yeah. I mean, maybe like for the first couple weeks or something like that. So it was really hard. And I don't know what it was in me that kept trying, because clearly like nothing was actually working.
Right, it's that hope though, it's that hope that this next thing will be the thing. And marketers do such a great job, even like just like listening to commercials for Dr. Oz or checking out the grocery store, you're bombarded with these amazing miracle strategies to automatically, change your life, drop the weight. And so I think, it's because you really have that desire down deep to lose the weight, and you were just hoping for something.
Exactly. And I think that's actually, I mean, as difficult and upsetting as it was to, have all these failures under my belt, I thank God that I had whatever crazy desires still in me to keep searching, because eventually, I did find some answers and I was able to break free. So I'm whatever that was that I had that had me keep going. I'm so grateful for it.
So what was that turning point? Like, what did you find?
There were a few things actually.
And how I know, like we're like, yeah,
I know. Good stuff. I always look at things from two sides. There's one is what's the stuff to do, like food to eat, how much to eat, things like that. So learning how to balance my blood sugar, learning to eat like balanced throughout the day instead of, I used to just starve myself, like skip breakfast, and then I wouldn't have like lunch until like noon or 1, and then it was like low cal, low fat, and it was just like a whole diet, and then it was like a binge, all out binge at night.
Yeah, so, you only have so much willpower, right? You use it all up throughout the day, saving the calories, and then all of a sudden it's just like you just can't do it anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, your body is just screaming. Like it needs food. It needs that balance. And so when you're depriving it all day, it's just a natural backlash.
Was that scary for you, making that transition to, because eating in a way for health is a lot different than eating the traditional weight loss, count points, count calories kind of way.
Right.
So was that transition scary?
It was actually so exciting for me.
Really? Awesome.
Yeah.
Did you have a mentor helping you through, like actually telling you what to do?
I did. Absolutely. It was actually a husband and wife couple. And they walked me through everything, because I was not going to do it on my own. It was like I was in a program, I commit to it. So having that level of accountability and guidance was so, so crucial. And they really spelled it out for me. So really understanding, wow, what is my physiology doing that I kept beating myself up for not having enough discipline, not having enough willpower. I'm just not strong enough. But it was actually like so much of it was just a physiological thing. My body just needed to be nourished. And so once I understood that, I was like, it was a little scary to start eating breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
But it was also so exciting because I got to bring like full fat back into my life.
I love that you said that, because you said I got to. Like the thing is, like you get to eat breakfast now. Like you get to have more, right?
Yeah. So it's great. It was a little scary, but it was also so exciting, and looking at like, oh my God, like I had bacon and eggs for breakfast this morning. It's like awesome.
Yeah.
And just, not depriving yourself, just learning that balance. So that's one thing that was absolutely crucial. That was a huge turning point for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing that I always look at, so I said I always look at, what's the thing to do?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also the inner work.
Right.
So if, my coaches had just handed me a plan of like, oh, just, eat this way now, maybe I would have done it for a little bit, but I would have slipped back to my old habits.
Mm-hmm.
So I really also had to do the inner work to look at, gosh, why am I eating for food in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I feel I need to protect myself? That is so much a protection. Mm-hmm. So for me, I had to look at like fitting in, belonging. And so getting together with my family, and we would have like this whole like feast. And what if I didn't, eat how I used to? Like my identity was caught up in it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so much that happens internally that we have to shift in order to then be the person that just eats healthy.
That's really interesting because you said the fat was actually your protection and being able to fit in. And a lot of people think they don't fit in because they might be overweight, but yeah, I mean, in your own personal ecosystem, in your environment with your family and your friends, like they're used to seeing you in that way, right? And it is kind of a big change. Like if you go to hang out with your girlfriends and you usually have pizza and wine and chocolate, and now you have to be the one to say like, no, I don't eat that anymore. That could be a challenging first step.
It's really confronting for people. Like it's so funny because it's such a simple thing on the surface. Mm-hmm. When it's you, and when you go deeper into what's actually happening, it's really confronting.
Yes. And so would you say that you were emotional eating and sabotaging yourself? Is that what you consider it?
Yeah, for sure.
So for people who are doing, like, they know that they're not, like, there's, like you said, there's the things that you do. And a lot of people know these things. Like, the information's out there online. It's so easy just to Google what's a balanced diet or follow the paleo diet or, what to actually eat. And then everyone knows or can find out, like, how to do a 30-minute exercise program. And so, like, it's really that second component that I think is the biggest obstacle for most people. Yeah. So if someone's sitting and listening and watching us right now and thinking like, yeah, I relate to you, Kristen. Like I've been there. I'm there right now. Like what's some of the first steps to break out of that cycle?
Yeah. So one of the things that I love to share with people that is just anyone can do at any time. There's a 4-step system that I have, and this is something that you can do in those triggered moments. So a lot of people, they're, it's like, oh my God, I need some chocolate, or, there's like something where you're triggered and you're headed for the ice cream or the candy bar. In that triggered moment, I have them go through 4 steps, and it actually spells out SAFE as an acronym, so SAFE.
Nice. I like
it. Right. A lot of people just want to feel safe anyway, so it's perfect. So S stands for surroundings. So the first thing that you want to do when you recognize that you're triggered and you're headed for the candy drawer, you want to just change your surroundings. So what that does is it's just a simple pattern interrupt. So your neural pathways are, working in that very specific way, and we just want to interrupt that as soon as possible. One of the quickest and easiest things to do is just like go into another room, or like turn and go outside, stop the car, just do something a little different. And then what that does is then your brain has new stimuli to take in. So instead of what it's used to doing, it's like, oh, wait, we're doing this now?
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. That's definitely a technique that so many people use, like in Tony Robbins does it a lot of times, and he like yells at you. It actually like shocks your system, and you have to think about like what's going on right now. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah. So just that simple act of getting up and moving to a different location. Okay, that is super simple. I think we can all do that.
Right, right. Very simple. And then the next step, A, stands for arrive.
Okay.
So that's, and this might seem like a really simple step, just gloss over, but it's actually really important. So this is like, okay, you've just gone into a new room or turned around or pulled the car over or whatever it is. And now it's just, whew, okay, like take a deep breath, like notice these new surroundings, take it in. It doesn't have to take long, but just arrive.
Okay. Be mindful of your new location.
Exactly, exactly. Notice, okay, something just happened and we did something different and here we are. Take a deep breath. It's all good. And then F stands for feel. So there's always something that when we're triggered and we want to eat, there's always something underneath that we don't want to be with. There's some feeling that's not comfortable. So maybe, you're stressed. There's a lot going on at work. You got this deadline. Maybe you're really disappointed. You just, got a phone call, or maybe you had a tricky interaction with a coworker or an in-law or something like that. And so this is just an opportunity to look deeper and see, okay, what's actually going on? What's the feeling that I'm feeling? And the cool thing about this is that just naming it can be hugely helpful. So ideally, if you have the time and space, the best thing, of course, is to actually feel the feeling and just like, oh, God, I just got really pissed off right there,
Right. Yeah, a lot of times we go through life on autopilot and we're doing things and feeling things. We're not really stopping to think about what we're doing and feeling. And I think that can be so helpful in so many different scenarios,
Totally.
and just other areas of your life, relationships. Just think about like when you're fighting with your boyfriend or your husband,
right?
You actually were to be upset with them and then do this kind of little exercise. I think it can be really helpful in so many areas. And then loop back into your emotional eating and weight loss.
Yeah, that's great because it really is like applicable to so many situations. Yeah. So, so either if you have the time and space to just actually feel the feeling, that's great. If you need, sometimes like I will be driving and something will happen and I'll just like cry for like a minute and then like, oh, okay, I'm cool now.
I just picture you driving next to Kristen and all of a sudden I look over and she's crying.
Right?
She's doing her safe technique.
Yeah, don't worry. It's just a technique. But that's also really important too, because I think sometimes people think I don't want to feel the feeling because then I'm going to like spiral down into a hole and never get out of the feeling. But it's like, the great thing about feelings is that the only thing they want is to be felt. And so when you actually feel it, then it can process and it can move through, as opposed to eating on top of it. It's still there. It's just
right. Yeah, I think our culture is like, in this country at least, is we're kind of trained to like squash it down and keep our composure. Men are really good at this too, about like squashing their feelings down, but women are, now that we're out in the workplace and we're doing all the same things that men do, a lot of times we do also step our feelings down, or it's just not appropriate, or we don't want to be a Debbie Downer, all these little things that we don't want to impose on other people. So we keep it inside. And so I think that we do that a lot. Like we don't feel our feelings and we don't act on them because we're afraid of them. I don't want to feel sad. You don't want to feel sad. So you're telling me I should feel this sad feeling, but it actually dissipates then, huh?
Yeah, which is then like totally freeing and liberating, and not that it's gone forever, but you can process it, and instead of trying to, cover it up with with food or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you can just go on about your life. So yeah, and as I said, also just naming it. If you
Yeah.
don't have the time or space, if it's a little confronting, to feel that feeling fully, just saying, "Wow, I'm sad right now."
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Awesome.
that's huge.
Yeah, it can be very impactful. So you have the S, the A, the F, and then what's the E?
So the E stands for explore. And so the best thing here is just to ask, what do I really want?
Mm-hmm.
What do I really need?
And what if the answer is a candy bar?
I was going to say, and it's not a cookie. It's not a candy bar.
So
Yeah.
a lot of times when we're eating something that is unhealthy for us, but maybe tastes really good or is comforting, you're saying that that's not what we really want. We want the comfort, right? We want the love or the comfort or the joy. And so what do you suggest that people do? Do you have some quick, easy things that people can do instead of grabbing that item when they know what they want is comfort or security?
Yeah. So that's the process of going through this it will just naturally have something come up like, okay, I just need a hug, So maybe if someone's around, a friend, you can get a hug, you can call a friend. If you're totally stressed and you recognize that, it's like, okay, well, what's something that will have me like relax and unwind? So take a bath, go for a walk.
Hmm.
So that's what happens in this explore area. So it's like, what do I
Okay.
really want?
That makes a lot of sense. So that
Yeah,
whole act of doing this whole safe technique, that is going to help you come to your own conclusion of what you really need and not, the
exactly.
answer is not going to be the candy bar.
Right,
Not
right.
that you can never have a candy bar either. So what's your take on that? Some
Mm-hmm.
people label foods as being good or bad, or, that's this whole area of food is something you can never go to. When working on weight loss, or even once you've arrived at your weight, are there forbidden foods, or do you feel that people can sometimes indulge in things?
Oh yeah. I think for me and for I think everyone I've ever worked with, um, no one wants to hear like, no, you can never have that.
Right.
And that triggers all sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So sure, you can have things. I think what I have people do is get in touch with their body
Mm-hmm.
and learn what your body wants. And so I was talking to a client this morning, actually. It was really great. She was like, I'm just getting so much more aware, and I discovered that my body doesn't like cheese. And when I eat cheese, I feel sick and I get a migraine. And she's
Yeah.
like, and now, like she's just starting to make choices that are not cheese, but it's coming from a place of connection. I don't like how my body feels when I eat that, and I love myself, so I'm not going to eat that. As
Right.
opposed to like, if I told her you can't eat cheese, she'd be like, oh, give me some cheese.
Right, right, totally. And yeah, it's hard sometimes when we are living in our fast-paced life and we're eating all these, convenience foods. It's hard to really be able to have that space to know what your body feels and needs and wants. So do you strip it down first and like help people to be more mindful and maybe eat more naturally so that they're able to actually feel those intuitive eating feelings?
Exactly. Yeah. So when I start out with a client, we talk about food. We don't really for the rest of the time. We're talking
Nice.
about the deeper stuff, but to start people out, like for me, I mentioned learning how to balance my blood sugar was like a total game changer. So, and I also, have a history education in the culinary field.
Oh, that's
So yes, I love food. Got to make sure my clients are eating happy. Um, and so I help them come up with meals that work for them, that they love, will balance their blood sugar, teach them a little bit about that. And then that gets them started. right?
Okay.
So I want them to know, okay, what does it feel like when my body is balanced versus not? So they just, naturally start to tune in like, oh, I don't have those cravings anymore, or I have more energy suddenly throughout the day. And then they'll start to notice these small things, and then it just sort of goes from there. So they're building that connection to their body and that association with food and what they eat or don't eat. And it becomes a very organic process.
That's beautiful. It's so refreshing, because like even now, like Oprah is doing Weight Watchers, and so everyone's like, oh, we got to count some points, and I really think that she's just setting herself up for another failure if she doesn't address the emotional part of it. Because I mean, she's mastered everything else in life, so it's not. If you're dealing with a weight issue, it doesn't mean you're a weak person. It doesn't mean that you're failing at anything. Sometimes just about getting some support and tearing back the layers and really understanding why this is what it is. And so, Kristen, I think that you're a great resource for doing that. It sounds like your program is so gentle and yet so effective.
Yeah. And that's, I hear that a lot from my clients too. Like after the first session, they're like, whoa, like, this is really different. I feel I can do this. Like, it's just one step at a time instead of here's your new eating plan. This is all you can eat. Go.
Yeah, we're so used to that. Like, I think we're so trained that if we want to lose weight, it has to be this really boring plan that has a bunch of things that we're not allowed to have and portions that are going to keep us hungry. And it's really about deprivation instead of about really giving your body what it needs.
Yeah. And that's what so much of the freedom and relief is. And, like I said, I'm a chef, I'm a foodie, I love food. It's so important to eat what you love. It's so important to feel satiated. And then of course it's so important to do that inner work so that you're not turning to food for anything other than fuel and nourishment. And it's really healing from the inside out.
Awesome. It sounds wonderful. You have an amazing free gift for everyone watching today too. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I do, yes. This is the simple start to real and lasting weight loss. And it's a 3-part video series, and they're nice bite-sized, no pun intended, nice bite-sized videos that talk about a lot of the things that we've talked about today in a bit more detail. Awesome. So one thing actually that we didn't talk too much about was judgment and the way that we can judge our bodies and ourselves and, eating too much and things like that. So the way we beat ourselves up. So the first video, there's an exercise to help release some judgment around our bodies, around ourselves. The second video, I go a bit more into detail around the physiology and the importance of balancing your blood sugar, how to do it, some things like that. And then the third video, we're diving more into self-sabotage and what's happening subconsciously so that people can start to identify what's really going on, what are the patterns underneath the overeating or the emotional eating, and give them some real freedom around, diets and obsession and these things that they've been trying before, to give them some real freedom and answers.
That sounds phenomenal. And even for people listening who don't have a weight problem, if you have an issue that you're habitually causing more pain to yourself on, if you have celiac disease and you continue to eat gluten, if you have migraines and you continue to eat those trigger foods that are causing migraines, this is all very applicable to all those situations. Even if you're just chronically eating foods that are unhealthy for you, maybe you don't have a weight problem, but you want to live a happier, fuller, more energetic life. I think all of this would apply. So, I really encourage everyone to go ahead and download that free gift and learn from Kristen, learn from her, just learn from her pain so you don't have to have the pain yourself. Yes. I think that's so amazing. And Kristen, how can people work with you? I know you have some really interesting and neat little programs coming up that people can kind of get a taste of how it is to work with you. Can you tell us a little bit about
Yes. I'm excited. I have an Instagram challenge coming up in, I think, about a month or two. And that's going to be a 5-day challenge to get everyone like creating community and just taking things one step at a time, learning about how to release the emotional weight, because it is such a process and it's complex. There's a lot going on. So we really dive into it together. And then I'm also coming out with a 6-week weight loss revolution.
Awesome.
Online masterclass. So I'm really excited to share that with people too.
Wonderful. Well, we will put the link to Kristen's free gift as well as a link to Kristen's website, so you can find out more about what she's doing. If you do download the free gift, you'll have access to Kristen, so she'll be able to keep you informed of when the challenges are coming up. And then be sure to follow her on social media, because then you can stay connected to what she's doing as well. So, Kristen, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciated all of your expertise. I really appreciate you sharing your story with us so that other people can learn from what you've experienced.
Thank you so much for having me. I love sharing this message, and I love everything that you're up to, so I'm so thrilled to contribute and collaborate with you. So thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Oh, you're so welcome. And thank you guys. Thank you all for watching today. I know that you have so many choices of how to spend your time. And I just want to commend you and give you a pat on the back for taking time out to do something positive for your health, for you and your family. So thanks again for watching the Nature Cure Summit. We'll be back again tomorrow with some more amazing experts. So thank you. Have a wonderful day. And just remember, nature is your best medicine. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey there, it's Dr. Michelle, and I just wanted to commend you and thank you for spending a little bit of your day to do something empowering. I hope that you found value in today's content and that you'll go out and use this new information to improve your life, even in a small way. I want you to open up to the possibility of making today, this week, and this year the greatest possibility you've had so far to improve your life. This is about breaking out of old paradigms. It is about learning the act of living naturally. It's about honoring who you are and allowing all that is good into your life. I promise to continue to bring you educational, empowering, and inspiring content to help you achieve the body you dream about, but more importantly, help you live the life you deserve. Remember, all that you need, you already have. It's right here, in nature and within yourself. So stay tuned for some more value-packed interviews, and be sure to check out all of the resources at glownaturalmedicine.com.